Hey everybody, how is everybody doing? I hope everybody's well. As you can see, Christmas season is coming, so I got up my Christmas tree and my Christmas decorations and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, again, welcome to this video. This is going to be a special edition video. This is going to be part one of two. I'm going to do two videos, so there's going to be a continuation of this video because this one has the potential to be quite lengthy. So, yeah. So, basically, what I've decided to do is I have selected five 45 RPM records from my collection. By the way, I've got about 300 of them. So, selecting five was no easy task. The reason that I picked these five to show you guys and to make a video on is because these records are indeed very special, really in every single way. Um, Everything about them, they're just extremely rare. Um, yeah, not only that are they extremely rare, they do have potential value. And four of these five records that I'm going to show you are anywhere from 60 to 70 years old. Okay. Um, and like I said, there are very, very few copies of any, if any, sorry, floating around on the World Wide Web. If you were interested, if you were a collector, to purchase some of these records. So I selected these five. I tried to select them as carefully as possible. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you, like, I'm going to share the songs with you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the labels on the records. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the musicians that I have here in these records, and I'm also going to show you some prices or comparison prices, so as to determine the actual value of these records. Okay, so We'll start off with the first one. The first one is a 45 RPM record that was released on the Decca label. Decca is a very, very familiar label for vintage records. There were so many musicians from the 1940s and 50s and 60s, many of which were signed on to Decca, which later became, by the way, MCA Records. So the first record that I have is a song called Sugar Blues. It's by Clyde McCoy and his orchestra. Clyde McCoy was born on December 29th, 1903 in Ashland, Kentucky, and he passed away on June 11th, 1990 at the age of 86. And Clyde McCoy passed away in Memphis, Tennessee. So this is one of the records that I have that is of, and there's a dog barking, sorry about that. That is of substantial value. Okay, so on the A side, we have a song called Sugar Blues. Sugar Blues, interestingly enough, was actually, I believe, first released in 1935. So that's a long time ago. So this song is actually from 1935. The original version of this song that you see right here was originally released on a 78 RPM record. Flip it over, and on the B side, there's a song called I Found a New Baby. And take a look at that record. I mean, it's in really pristine condition. Um, and it should be pointed out that this is actually probably one of the oldest records that I own. This specific 45 was released in 1950. So that makes it almost 70 years old. 70 years old, this record. Okay. And the fact that it looks the way it does is absolutely outstanding. I got lucky when I found this one. So let's talk about the value. How much is it worth? How many copies of this record are floating around? Well, I look on Discogs.com. I find that's the best source because Discogs has everything. If it's not on Discogs, chances are it's not anywhere. Well, I wouldn't say it's not anywhere, but if it's not on Discogs, it's probably extremely rare. Okay, So this record on Discogs, there are 3 copies, all from the United States. The cheapest available copy of this record is $8.45, and that's in US money. If you're in Canada, like myself, that would be $17.16 for this record. And that's not including tax and shipping. That's the cheapest, okay? You can also get it for $12.99 in the United States, and you can get it for and then $29 in Canadian money. Again, that's not including tax and shipping. So if I, was in Canada, for example, and I wanted this record, it's going to cost me, let's just say $30 for one single 45 RPM record. So there you go. So that's the first one. So that's Sugar Blues by Clyde McCoy and his orchestra. That's the first one. Let me put this down. The second one that I want to talk about is a 45 RPM record that was released on the Mercury label, the Silver and Black Mercury label. As you can see, the song is I'm Walkin' by Patti Page. And this is the record right here. As you can see, it's really shiny. It's in really good condition. Flip the record over. There's a song on the B side called Invitation to the Blues. That's that there. Invitation to the Blues by Patti Page on 45 RPM. And this song was released in 1963. A little bit about Patti Page. She was a very successful recording artist of her time. Patti Page actually just passed away a few years ago. She died on New Year's Day in 2013. She passed away in a retirement home. She was born November 8th, 1927 in Clarence, Oklahoma. Wait, sorry, did I get that right? Sorry, Claremore, Oklahoma. Patti Page was born November 1927 in Claremore, Oklahoma. So this is the record that I have, one of the ones that I've selected to do for this video. This song, I'm Walkin', is actually one of her more successful songs, although she had a whole bunch of songs, but I'm Walkin' was probably one of her most successful songs. So let's get into the value. How much is this record worth? Well, as it turns out, this record actually has substantial value, and that's why I've chosen this one to do for this video. I found only 2 copies, 2, of this record on Discogs. One of the copies is from Canada, and one of the copies is from the United States. If you want this record right here, the one I just showed you, this record is let's see, what was it? $25.99. Okay, and that's not including tax, that's not including shipping. $25.99 for this record, and there's only 1 copy available in Canada. If you're in the United States, it's $19.99, and if you want to do Canadian, that would be about $26.59. Okay, so let's just say this one again is around the $30 mark for the sake of an argument. If you're in Canada, if you're in the United States, you can get it a bit cheaper for about 20 bucks. But still, even $20 for one single is quite a lot. And I'd also like to add that the 2 copies of this one that are available on Discogs are not in as good a condition as this. Okay, this one is in pristine condition, and it looks and it sounds great. Okay, so this one that I have, this copy, could very well easily be worth more than $30. Okay, Patti Page, I'm Walkin', with Invitation to the Blues on the B side. Okay, so that's that one. Moving on to the next record. What's the next one I selected? Next one I selected was the very Italiano Montevani and his orchestra. Mantovani and his orchestra. I selected this one because honestly, I looked and looked and searched, and I could not find a copy of this record right here. Okay, wait, let me move my hand so you can see it. So this is Mantovani, right? The song on the A side is Spring in Montmartre by Mantovani and his orchestra, and it was released on the London label, right? This is the Canadian copy. The only copy of this record that I found actually had a blue label, and it was Decca. It was the blue Decca label. I found 0 copies of this record. And the blue Decca label record was about 20 something plus tax, plus shipping and delivery. On the B side is a song called Heart of Paris, right? So that's the B side right there by Mantovani and his orchestra. And the B side of this record, you can see it's nice and shiny. It's in very, very good condition for its age. This song came out, hold on, I think the date's on here, 1956. Okay, so yeah, this record is also more than 60 years old, and it looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, so that's why I featured this record, because it is just so incredibly rare. As far as prices and what it's worth and its value, I actually don't know, because I have nothing to compare this one to. This one specifically, there's nothing on the internet where I can compare the price of this. So I've had a really hard time with this one. So that's why I featured this one on this video, because it is obviously extremely rare. I'm going to assume that it's going to be worth anywhere from $20 to $40 Canadian. I'm assuming maybe about $20 to $30 American. So yeah, Mantovani, Spring in Montmartre. Very, very rare 45. Extremely rare, actually. Okay, moving on to the next one. I have Earl Brandt. The name of this song, this is also released on the Decca label. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of these extremely old vintage 45s were released on the Decca label. This is a song on the A side. It's a song called Don't Point Your Finger at Somebody Else by Earl Brandt. And if you take a look at this copy, this one is also in really good condition. On the Decca label, on the B side, that's a song called Wish by Earl Brandt, right? There you go. Earl Brandt was an African-American recording artist of the 1950s and the 1960s, mostly jazz, mostly blues. He died really, really young, actually. He was only in his 30s. I think he died, what was it? He died at the age of 39 in 1970. This guy was actually killed in a car crash. And apparently he was killed instantly, which is really unfortunate. He was born on January 20th, 1931. And yeah, so that's another song that I've decided to feature here. Don't Point Your Finger at Somebody Else by Earl Brandt. And I actually have other records of his on the Decca label. I have other Earl Brandt records as well. This one is a little bit more rare, retains a little bit more value, which is why I featured it in this video. Now let's talk about the value. Let's talk about the prices. There's 5 copies of this record that I could find on the web. Let's see. The copies are available from the United States and from the UK, from the United Kingdom. Anywhere from $1.66 up to $22.60 Canadian. Right, the other copies, as far as price goes, just sort of varies in between $1.66 and 20 something, plus tax and plus shipping. Okay, and again, there were only 5 copies of these available, a couple from the States, a couple from the United Kingdom. So this is another record that I wanted to feature. And as always, like you can see, it's in very, very good condition. It's nice and shiny. It's just overall really good conditioned record. So that very well could potentially increase the value of this one. Okay, so that's Earl Brandt. Don't point your finger at somebody else. The last one that I have, which is number 5. Can I get this in here? Where is it? Ah, there we go. The last one is actually a song that's not as old, but I decided to feature it anyway. It's one of my personal favorites. This song, or this record actually, was actually imported from Kingston, Jamaica. It is a reggae song from 1988, so this one is not nearly as old as some of the other ones that I just showed you, but still 1988. I mean, I was born before 1988, but anyway. So the song is called This Old House. Unfortunately, the record, the label does have some marks on it. Yeah, it's a song called This Old House. That's on the A side. It's by a Jamaican singer from Kingston, Jamaica, by the name of Boris Gardner. And on the B side, as with a lot of songs from Jamaica, a lot of reggae songs, it's simply on the B side, it just simply says version. And you can see there by Boris Gardner, and that's on the B side. And basically, it's the very same song, just without the words. It's just instrumental. And I have other reggae records as well that were imported from Jamaica, where on the B side it just says version. Okay, so I decided to share this one with you guys because this one is also extremely rare. Where is it here? Okay, so a little bit about Boris Gardner, about the singer of this song, This Old House, on this 45 RPM. Boris Gardner is still alive today. He is currently 76 years old. He was born on January 13th, 1943 in Kingston, Jamaica. And this was a pretty good hit for him. Now the reason the reason that I've selected this 45 RPM to share with you guys is because it is extremely rare. Yeah, so just let me take a quick look here. There's a couple of copies in the UK. There's a couple of copies in this record from Jamaica. The cheapest copy of this record that you can get, and it's not as in good a condition as this. The cheapest copy that you can get for this record is from the UK, and it's €8. If you're talking about Canadian dollars, it's $24.18 Canadian, okay, to buy this record. That's the cheapest, okay? Most expensive is also actually from the UK, ironically. The most expensive copy from the UK is €30, which is $51.82 Canadian for this record, okay? And the copies that are available on the internet, actually, they do have some markings on the label, just like this one does. Only the record itself is not in as good a condition as this one. So this one could very well be worth anywhere from 40 to 50 something dollars. Okay. So that's why I've decided to showcase this video. There's the song there, This Old House by Boris Gardner. And this is a really, really good song. It's one of those old like reggae jams. Like it's a pretty chilling song. So yeah. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's already almost 20 minutes long. Wow. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that. Stick around for part 2. Don't go too far. And when you come back for part 2 of this video, I'm not going to be talking and all this like I have here. I'm actually going to be playing these songs for you so that you can hear them, because they're years and years and years old, and I want you to be able to hear how they actually sound, how they still sound, and how they've actually maintained and held their sound quality over the years. And it's remarkable how good these records actually still sound after all these years. Yeah, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stick around and come back for part 2. Take care. Bye-bye.